In the book of Psalms, 37th chapter, 23rd verse, the psalmist says, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Now, I have a question. And the question is, what makes a man become a good man?
Good question.
Well, a man does not become a good man just because he does not use drugs, get drunk, or chase women. A man does not become a good man just because he has money in the bank,
That's right.
or he has several degrees, letters, titles, or affiliations attached to his name. Today's human ideas about masculinity and manhood are a far cry from the example Christ set in the flesh for all humanity, including males, to follow. But the Bible states in 1 Peter, 2nd chapter, 21st verse, for to this you were called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. Yes, Jesus Christ came to earth as a male human, and therefore is the standard of the godly man that every Christian male should strive to be. I'd like to discuss 7 of the qualities of a godly man. I chose these 7 qualities because 7 is one of the most significant numbers of the Bible. It is the number of spiritual perfection. It is the number which is stamped on every good work of God. 7 is also the number of completion, both physical and spiritual. It derives much of its meaning from being tied directly to God's creation of all things. The first quality I'd like to speak on is integrity. Integrity is the single most important quality of any man. When a man is always honest and constantly working to do the right thing, he tells the world that he can be trusted in every situation and will always come through to the best of his ability. Godly men are honest, reliable, and do the right thing whether someone is watching or not. Number 2 is compassion. In the book of Mark, 12th chapter, 30th and 31st verse, Jesus explained to one of the scribes that God put us on this earth to love him with our whole heart and to love our neighbors as ourselves. That means we should consider other people's needs because God considers our needs.
That's right. Yes, he does.
Godly men should feel a tug in their heart for anyone in need and constantly work to make the world a better place. Number 3 is self-control. Hardly a day goes by without a news report about some high-profile man who has been destroyed by sex, money, addictions, or drugs. True men rid themselves of the junk, that gets in the way of living a pure and productive life. We all know this isn't easy because temptations lurk around every corner. Godly men make decisions that make God and their families proud to know him. Number 4 is perseverance. Perseverance is courageous resistance against difficult circumstances. It is developed through seasons of struggle. When challenges come, the godly man digs deep, puts his heels in the sand, and pushes through. Godly men endure the inevitable trials of this life and emerge stronger. The 5th quality I like to speak on is humility. Many of today's young men, and older men included, love to let everyone know how much swagger they have. They thump their chests and proclaim to the world, I'm a big deal. Look at me. As C.S. Lewis said, humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. It is knowing that your worth comes from God, and you don't have to prove that you're the greatest thing since Michael Jordan's turn to basketball. Proper humility is an important element in the heart of a man who will build and nurture strong and positive relationships. It means he's willing to listen and not arrogantly step on the feelings of others. In 1 Peter 5th chapter 5th verse, he admonishes us to be clothed with humility. For God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Godly men don't need to show off.
Yeah.
Their worth comes from God. Number 6 is generosity. Generosity is not necessarily tied to how wealthy someone is, and it's far more than just money and possessions.
Yeah.
A godly man needs to be generous with his time as well as with his praise and encouragement. He should be willing to give the time and effort to help where there is a need.
Come
And I
on.
say the best for last. Faith.
Right.
A godly man will make it his highest priority to follow the example of Christ. In John 10 chapter 27 verse, Jesus said, "My sheep hear my voice,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I know them, and they follow me."
Yeah. Yeah.
In 1 Corinthians 11 chapter first verse, Paul wrote, "Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ." What a man does so will become evident as you observe his daily conduct. No matter his cultural background, his level of education, or his depth of experiences, if he follows Jesus Christ first, you will recognize him. The godly man, above all else, believes in the goodness of our incredible Creator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when the road is dark and he
Yeah.
can't understand the pain,
Yeah.
he trusts and relies on his Savior. Godly men don't abandon their faith in times of struggle. They draw closer to Jesus and those around them.
Yeah.
You know, our society is creating a generation of young men who look to Hollywood, sports, the gangster life, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and the internet for real men, and not the only perfect man who ever lived, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'd like to share a passage of scripture with you from the Bible. And this scripture is from Galatians 5, 22nd to 23rd verse. But the fruit of the Spirit is love,
Yeah.
joy,
Yeah.
peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith,
Yeah.
meekness, temperance. Against such, there is no law.
There is no law.
As we celebrate this Men's Day, I pray that all men strive to be a godly man every day. Now, in the spirit of honesty, I didn't make up this list on my own. I use this beautiful little guide called the Bible. Thank you
Amen.
for your time and attention, and may God continue to enrich your spirit.
All right. Thank you.